If you've got local energy constraints, then you need to check out this interview with Zenobe, as they have great localized power solutions.
Afternoon, everybody. We've got the privilege of here on the EV Cafe stage of talking to Steve Meersman from Zenobe. Steve, tell me, what do Zenobe do and why are you here at the show today?
Well, we are here because we've been here for a number of years, supporting ITT Hub from the beginning, really, which actually started as a bet with Mark, who started the event when we were at Cenex, and they'd sort of inconveniently located us next to the diesel generators that they had on site. And he was pointing that out. He said, well, you're doing zero emission solutions with batteries and helping people get around grid issues, and then they put you here. I said, well, if you do a show, I'll come and charge it. And 2 years later, he called me out on that, and we had no choice. So that aside, this has been a good event for us over the last few years, because we've got a lot of people here, now a lot more truck than before, because there's product and the OEMs are here. Initially the buses, coach sector, we run into customers, it's a good environment, so that's why we're here. In terms of what we do, we help people electrify their fleets. So be it bus, coach, truck or other heavy duty mobility, we can help with making sure your vehicle is always fully charged, on time, and preheated or pre-chilled. And we can also help you with a guarantee that your fuel tank will always be the right size over the full life of the vehicle by swapping the batteries and then repurposing them in a second life. So we've got about 1,100 electric buses now, 300 electric vans that we support, some trucks across, I think, 9 countries now.
Wow. So it's an extensive business, dealing, it sounds like, with one of the biggest challenges that the heavier end of the market is facing, that of power and power delivery. Obviously a commercial vehicle needs to be operational all of its time to be productive, to get the best value out of what is a relatively expensive asset. So would it be true to say that you provide the power that mitigates the grid demand? Can you do that?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, if you look at it, you've sort of got this tension, right? On one side, the benefit of electric vehicles is that they're cheaper to drive, but to do that, you need to drive them a lot. And on the other side, you've got range, sort of pushing back against that. So how do you bridge that gap? Now, what we do is we try to look at the whole system: the driver, the vehicle, the battery, the grid, and then work out how do you electrify your full fleet? What does the end state look like? Then bring that back to day one to say, okay, let's start with these first 10 or these first 5, whatever dip your toe in the water scenario looks like for that particular operator, and work through the challenges. Now, the reason we look at the full picture is because you can then optimize and get around these challenges more, right? If you've got experienced drivers, you might be able to reduce your energy consumption by 40%. We've done that with some of our operators, which then means you need to push less energy back into the vehicles every night, which then means you need to put less copper in the ground or you need to wait less long with the utility. If that doesn't work, you've got smart charging to control the vehicles to further reduce it. You've got things like putting stationary batteries in the depot to help peak shave or generate extra income. Because I think that's the other bit, is that people always look at power as a challenge, but I think it can also be a great opportunity. Be it for, we've done a first trial with one of our depots with Abellio here in London, where we supported one of National Grid's new services that they launched to help keep the lights on post-COVID during the energy crisis. So that was an opportunity to generate additional income from these big batteries we've suddenly got sitting in all our depots.
So it sounds like you're forming or helping form almost an entirely new ecosystem of power.
Yeah.
Power that can provide energy for the vehicles, but also provide an income potentially.
Yeah, it's all about this acronym that gets tossed around a lot: total cost of ownership.
Yeah.
Now, we look at total cost of ownership on a slightly longer time frame, right? If somebody buys a vehicle, they might say, well, I've got a 7-year contract that I need to have a vehicle for. Then after that, the vehicle might get passed on to somebody else who uses it for 7 years. And then after the 14 years, probably there's been one battery taken out, maybe a second one put in. What do you do with those? So we look in a really extended way over 15, 20 years, how do we squeeze as much value out of these assets for our customer, and then obviously take a little bit of the savings to keep our shareholders happy.
Absolutely, and that's important, right? So an event like this, I mean, do you just sit in a chair and wait for people to come to you, or have you a lot of meetings set up?
Well, that's what your colleagues had to do, because I was apparently sitting over there and I had to be dragged over here. But no, jokes aside, we wander around and it's interesting to see new products coming to the market, like a retrofitted vehicle is something that's been talked about a lot. Well, you can see one here.
Yeah.
You see a lot of the truck OEMs coming out with good electric products. So yeah, it's wandering around, meeting people. And yeah, we see a lot of our existing customers here, and it's convenient because they know we'll be here. We know they'll be here, so you can.
So I mean, it sounds like it's an incredible ecosystem and a community that's sort of coming together, you know, every so often, probably once a year, with the ITT Hub, and giving you an opportunity to engage and share ideas, kick off ideas, collaborate.
Yeah.
Fantastic.